right. First of all, how's it feel to get a win on the home opener?
Well, it wasn't easy, as most aren't in college baseball. So, I mean, it feels good because our kids are fighting, especially after you don't play great down in Florida. And we didn't play great tonight, but you just got to play a little bit better than your opponent, and we did that, So we just keep working, go back to the drawing board and try to improve and get better. Kids are playing hard. We're pressing a little bit. We're not playing great on defense. We're giving good opponents more than 27 outs, and you're going to give up runs when you do that. We've probably given over 30 outs a game the past few games because of errors or not making plays that we should make, and so we just address it without putting pressure on them. Just address it and make guys realize that we're going to be able to get better.
Yeah, speaking of the defense, obviously you have the 1 error tonight, but it's all better than 5 in the last game. What was that conversation like on the way back up from Florida and then leading into this game?
The conversation Sunday after the game was really about the message for the weekend was to just play free and relaxed, and the message Sunday was that's not what we were preaching, that we lost Saturday and didn't play great, and then, once we fell behind Sunday, it felt like the world was in our shoulders. And the message last night when we got back was, guys, we gotta unpack the backpack, or we can't carry it on our back from last year. I mean, and I don't ever want last year's team's probably a couple conference wins away and maybe holding on to that ACC tournament game 2-3 wins away, and who knows what we could have done in the postseason. So I don't really like to dog last year's team because I love those kids and there was a lot of talent. But it goes back to the fine line between winning and losing. Last year was the fine line, and that fine line kept us from doing the things we wanted to do. And the message to the guys last night was, we can't make up for last year. You can't carry that around with you. And it looked like this weekend we were. And I had heard some rumors about the revenge tour, and I think it sounds great, but baseball it's too tough a game. You just, you're going to squeeze the bat a little harder. You're going to try to throw a little harder. You're going to get too amped up. This is not football. I love football. This is not football. And I'm emotional as it is, and I try to get guys fired up enough. So the last thing they need to do is get more fired up, trying to make up for some hiccups last year. And that's all. You just address it with the kids and really about being in the moment. Today was all about, hey, guys, what an opportunity to play today.
Obviously, much has been said about this team being young or relatively inexperienced. I mean, you go into the bottom of the 7th down 3 runs, I believe. But what does it say, like, early on in the season, having all those, like, young guys kind of keeping it together to put up a 6th spot in that inning?
It's part of the process. I was debating pulling all the hitters up because I thought we were a little tight. I thought we were pressing a little bit. And then sometimes as a coach, you realize, you know what? They got to figure it out. Just let them. Let's see if they can do it on their own, because they're the ones that got to get in the batter's box. And so lots of times in coaching, the less you say, the better. And we got good leaders on this team, and they're going to learn and they're going to grow, from good times and bad times. And it's amazing. We're 4 games into the season, and it feels like we played a month. But I'm really proud of our fan base. We give them about 24 hours notice for the home opener. I appreciate Billy and Xavier. They'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And I was really pleased that they were okay with, getting back late. We got back late, they got back late, but they're the road team. And to get on the road and come down here, man, it says a lot about him, his staff, and their program. So I was excited that we could play in this weather, in February in front of a really good crowd.
Obviously, it's only 4 games in, really young season, but you've already played a ton of pitchers. What are some of your early thoughts? Again, it's only 4 games. What are some of your preliminary thoughts on what you've seen out of the pitching staff so far?
I think going into the season, we said it in the press conference, we feel really good. We felt like we had 15 guys that are going to be able to help us. Now you just got to let it play out. The unfortunate thing about the first weekend was we put some pitchers in really tough situations. And yes, that's the world of pitching. Everything's not going to go great for you, and you gotta got to make pitches and you got to get off the field, but it was ugly. I mean, there was, like I said, there was a couple innings where I don't know how you're not giving up runs or a crooked number. So I'm anxious to see those guys the next time out and the next time, and we still got a few weeks before, you know, conference play starts, and you always believe your second week, you see it like in football and a lot of sports, your second time out is a big jump from your first time out. So I'm anxious as we go into this next weekend. A lot of these pitchers, a couple got their second, you know, outing here. You saw Prosecki.
Mm-hmm.
We felt like he had a chance to be a special closer, and that's special stuff right there. But Corbett was good his second time out. You know, Dowler and Moose, that was their first time out. And so, you know, we'll just try to keep growing and get better this weekend.
What's the overall team message heading into that first weekend series of the year?
The home weekend,
yeah,
it's really just be where your feet are. I mean, that was the message today. I had this, you know, great speech and all these, you know, 35 home games and 14 midweek games and 11 at home and Jim Patterson Stadium and playing in front of your crowd. And Colin Lyman did our chapel this weekend, and he just talked about living in the moment. Dr. Elko talks about now. And so I kind of flipped my whole message to the kids, and I said, guys, it's really just about now. I mean, let's not – we get a great opportunity to play tonight, you know, and as I was worried about them carrying the past around with them, the last thing I need them doing is worrying about tomorrow. Like, let's just compete, you know, and live in the moment. And we did that because we could have folded there in that last 3 inning segment. And, you know, last year we dug up some numbers. We weren't a great come from behind team. We addressed it all fall, all spring training, and just making sure that they believe, you know, again, we trust them, and now I think they know, hey, we can come from behind and win late in the game, and that does a lot for your team. That probably takes off some of the panic in the middle innings as to like, oh my gosh, we can't fall behind. We're not gonna come from behind. So it's amazing if you know you can score late and be one of those type of teams, man. It changes the dynamic of your presence the entire game.
Good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All right.